Pleased to be joined this morning by actor Manu Bennett. How you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Bonjour, Ottawa.
First time in the nation's capital?
Yes, I didn't even know it was the nation's capital, but I've been put right about that.
Well, now you know. Hey, listen, you're part Canadian anyway. You're living in Vancouver right now.
I've become a Vancouverite. Yeah. I'm shooting arrow over there. So you know, they brought me over in December, and they had me sort of playing this guy called Slade Wilson, who I just thought was a military guy, you know, and but then very quickly I learned that, you know, they're gearing me up to become Deathstroke.
Well, they made it what was a part-time role into a full-time gig, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah. They sort of, you know, they've got this habit of sort of disguising their path forward, you know, which is, you know, I mean, the story on the island versus the story in contemporary Starling City is what keeps people guessing. And right now I'm playing a guy on the island called Slade Wilson, who's helping, you know, Oliver Queen learn how to do his stuff and learn how to become the Arrow.
That show really took off in the past year or so, eh? Like since its development, it really kind of slowly went up there, and basically it's a big show now.
Yeah, you know, I mean, people usually think CW's a fairly young audience, and you know, I think what they've done is they've decided to try to make a program that's going to get out there and garner a big audience for their network. And you know, this show is not only sort of starting to broaden itself in terms of its demographic. You know, young people are watching it, older people are watching it. You know, they brought me on. I guess, you know, all the crowd from Spartacus have started sort of migrating across to the shows.
Because
so,
Spartacus is done.
It's done, man. Yeah, I kind of like, I kind of got my head cut off.
Yeah, I heard. Wow.
But look, it's still here.
A fantastic end, though, to that show. Like, I was reading an article last night about how even some of the stars of the show were in tears watching the finale when it was complete.
Yeah, look, I mean, the production itself just went through so many twists and turns. You know, of course, we had the tragic death of our star, of Andy Whitfield, who was our original Spartacus, and you know, at that point, you know, everyone from our studio heads to even the public thought that our show was over, and you know, we came back. You know, I mean, Andy, you know, during his treatment, had discussions with the producers and said, "Look, go ahead without me. You know, go on, finish the show off."
Guy.
So they found Liam McIntyre,
which he did a great job, eh?
You know what?
That's tough.
You know, when you come into a show like ours, which was at that time, and you know, it had started to get into full force. I mean, you know, we had the prequel, which helped sort of, you know, fill the gap. I mean, you know, when he came to the show when we were all just pumped and ready to go, so it took him a little bit of time to warm into it. But the same thing happened to us in season 1. You know, it took a little bit of time to warm into it. Yeah. At the end of the day, Liam became this man that I was really proud of him both I was there when he showed up on our show. You know, you know, and he had to do a screen test with me, and you know, I just knew how nervous he was. You know, he was a big fan of the show, and so, you know, him and I ran around the studio lot, and then we went in there and we did this screen test, and I just knew Liam straight away was an honest guy, you know, with a big heart, and that's literally what the basic requirements of Spartacus were, you know.
Before I go, I do want to mention that your character in The Hobbit was fantastic. I thought that sledgehammer swinging dude was fantastic in the movie.
Yeah, Arzog. We can see footage of him here now.
Yeah. Look at him.
Yeah, that's not me, by the way. That's the first guy they had doing it.
Oh, is that right?
And then there's me in the bottom left-hand side.
So you acted out in front of a screen?
Yeah, it's same thing that Andy Serkis did for Gollum, you know, in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. I was asked to go down and do motion capture, which is, see the suit that I've got on there?
Holy smokes.
Those little dots all over me, those little black patches, they're all motion sensors that are attached to my joints. So when I move and see the dots on my face, that camera that's in front of my face is reading every little line on my face that moves. So what happens is every bit of motion that I create becomes the face and the body of this character. And basically they just put a CGI skin over my body. This is me,
That's us.
That's it. That's us.
Yeah, that's us.
We
got to run, brother, but listen, thanks for coming by to see us.
It's a pleasure. I come to Comic-Con. And,
Was Great to talk to you. Manu Bennett, he'll be here this weekend. And if you can't see him here, well, just go to Vancouver. See him around Granville Island somewhere.
Au revoir.